So moving on to even and odd functions, we've talked about this a little bit also in the past, and that's just recognizing what type of functions the trig values are. So sine of theta is an odd function, so sine of negative theta equals negative sine of theta, right? That's really the definition of an odd function. It's an odd function. So when I plug in an opposite theta, I get the opposite. Cosine of theta is an even function. So when I plug in negative theta, it's the exact same thing as if I plug in cosine. Tangent of negative theta is negative tangent theta. Odd. And the reciprocals follow suit as well. So cosecant of negative theta is equal to negative cosecant of theta. Cant of negative theta is equal to just secant of theta. And cotangent of negative theta is equivalent to negative cotangent of theta. So pause this. You need to make sure you have these on your paper. Just a note, you never want to really work with a negative theta or pi halves minus theta. You always want to get everything running your co-functionary identities or your even and odd identities. You always everything. All right, so simplifying here. Sine of x times cosecant. Well, cosecant of negative theta is really negative cosecant. All right, so I have sine of x times negative cosecant of x, which this is sine of x times negative 1 over secant of sine of x. So my sine of x is cancel, and I'm really just left with negative 1. Cotangent of negative x times cotangent of I have minus x. Well, cotangent is odd, so this is negative cotangent of x. And this cotangent of I have is tangent of x. So what I actually have is I have 1 tangent of x times tangent of x. Those cancel, and once again, I'm negative 1. Moving on to factor and simplify. So one method. So when factoring, you want to look for common terms. You want to look to see if there's a difference in pairs or anything like that. So looking at number 1, they both have a secant squared. We actually for number 2, cosecant squared of x minus 1 cosecant minus 1. This isn't as obvious, but over x minus 1. You could probably see that that would be x minus 1 times x 1 over x minus 1. This is the exact same thing. X cosecant. So this is going to factor cosecant minus 1 times cosecant of x plus 1 over cosecant of x minus 1. These terms cancel, and I am just left with cosecant of x plus 1. This is not a Pythagorean identity because it is not cosecant squared or anything like that. So there is nothing more I can do with this. I could make it 1 over sine of x plus 1, but I don't think that actually simplifies it at all. So we're done. Sine to the 4th of x minus 2 sine squared of x plus 1. This is a little tricky to see. So it's always helpful sometimes to do the think of this in terms of like, so this was x to the fourth minus 2x squared plus 1. Could you factor that? So we have an x squared and x squared, plus sign here, the sign, they're both minus. X to 1 or only 1 and 1. So now instead of using x squared though, you're using sine. So this factors sine squared of x minus 1 times sine squared of x minus 1. Or you could think of that as sine squared of x 1 quantity squared. Well, sine squared minus 1. Look at your Pythagorean identities. So we know that sine squared of x plus cosine squared of x equals 1. So if I've manipulated this equation, got my 1 over, I would take this cosine over and get negative cosine squared of x. So this sine squared of x plus 1 is equivalent to negative cosine, which when I multiply these together gives me a positive cosine to the fourth of x. It may be very beneficial for you to kind of always put in like this and factor there and then manipulate over. If that's how your brain works, go for it. All right, so perform the indicated operation and simplify. Squaring a binomial. Sine squared of x plus twice x. This is a Pythagorean. Nothing more. Here, I need to find a common denominator. My common denominator is cosine of x. Well, to go from 1 to cosine by cosine of x squared of x, which simplifying cosine squared of x is 1. So I have 1 over cosine of x, which gives me secant of x. Okay, so that finishes section 1. I'm fully expecting there to be some questions next class. Don't worry. Feel free to work together on these. Have your identity sheet out when you are working. It's really important to be able to refer to them. But my role for identities is I will gladly help you. I love identities, but you have to show me what you have tried. I will not answer questions if you just say, I don't know. You have to try something. So use your identity sheet, work together, but try and attempt as much as you can. Simplify where you can. And we will be doing identities for a few days now. If you have questions before next class, feel free to email me, but we will start out with questions for next class. Thanks.